Was there pressure? Because you mentioned, like, obviously Tim Miller and, you know.
Of course. I
Yeah.
was dead inside for a long time. Months after months, you kind of used to it. You have more fun interaction with them on Zoom. You have a joke and all this stuff. But in the beginning, I was sweat. Like I was wet after every. Yeah, pressure. Of course. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just. Yesterday I was sitting alone in my apartment, and now I'm working with Hollywood. But that's part of the you need.
Directors and animators and illustrators it takes a long time in terms of crafting your skill, making sure you have the right ability to get the execution right. So it's no surprise that when I was doing my research, it says it took you 2 years to complete X Story. If I'm
maybe even a little more, because again, it was not founded. It was only because I earned some money previously and I lived 2 years alone in a cave. It was like I don't know. Every day I waking up, I'm I don't know, eating, working out a little bit, and then sit down, sit on my butt and developing story and animatic. And then I'll find some people who help me to create a story much more beautiful than I expected. So it's really important to find people who could be inspired by your work and could help you.
And that's what again Nas, who created Dragon Ball Tell, also mentioned. It's not just a single, obviously you're the director and the writer, but it's not just a single person, it takes a whole team. When I watched X Story, one thing I found really great, first let's talk about the writing. It wasn't the ending I expected, which was great, because sometimes we get the whole nice happy ending, and I won't ruin it for people. I'll put the YouTube link in our show notes for people to go and watch it. Please do go and watch it. It's an amazing short animated film. How did that idea come about for X Story?
All my ideas began with images. Characters. So basically, it started for I want to create some image. I don't know what it's going to be. Now, after a long journey in animation, I kind of more preparing when I try to create something. But back then, in the end of 2000s, I mean, it was 2009, 2010, I developed small pictures. And all I want created is just a small figure fighting some big object. That's the genesis of all of this. And I create this guy who fighting sometimes with a sword, sometimes with something, and just big ball with an X on the face. And I thought that's funny, that's cool. And for years this character existed on the back of my mind and in some pictures in my folders on my computer. But after I finished Motion Comics Jam, it's called Motion Comics. It was full production with a team. I realized, hey, I have some skills now. I could create. It could be anything. It could be really bad, but that's my dream. That's my goal. I think, when you feel everything, all your journey kind of walk you through life to this point, yes. And I realized, yes, I should start. I earned some money on Motion Comics, and I live alone.
So you were able to,
it just now or never, something like that.
No, I like that. And thank you so much for, taking the time out to, make your vision come to life and make it come true. Because, you don't start, you don't execute, you don't have the output that you want. So you can only start something, or you can only get something out when you start it, right? So thank you so much for not just having an idea but executing. We all have ideas, but the hardest part is executing it.
It's most important thing is to finish your project, because we live in an ocean of dead and unfinished projects around us. Exactly. But people know only what is produced and finished and shown to people.
Someone said, motivational speaker said, the richest place on earth is the graveyard because it's full of
ideas,
exactly,
of projects. And I was involved in some projects who was promising but died during the way, along the way. So I know how it is, but I think I realized in 20 years ago that finished projects much more important. Even if it's not great, even if it's not much people know about it, but you know it. It's you kind of baby, right?
Yeah.
So to finish project, and again for artists, for creators who think 2 years for creating, and I have no money, I have to rent, I have a relationship. I'm talking not only about big projects, even little picture every day you could finish it. It's project. You know how they talk about starting to go to the gym?
Yes.
The most important thing is to arrive.
Yes, exactly.
Just arrive here for 5 minutes. Just do this and go home. And then day by day, and you developing the habit to be in the gym, and that's most important thing. And that's applied to the animation and to drawing and to anything. Just arrive. That's enough. So we're talking about picture, little sketch, anything. You have an idea. Not just if you writer, you write, but if you artist, make a sketch. Again, all my ideas, all my projects start with a sketch, start with a scratch, right? Or how big journey start with a little step. That's my motto.
No, it's good. I think I know Wesley, co-founder of Line Animation, he said the same thing in terms of the way you started X project. He's working on another project called the Mighty Python, and he just started with a sketch, and then it kind of just built from there. So it's interesting because I spoke to another lady she's in Shonen Jump, or one of the Shonen Jump, and she also said when she got published on Shonen Jump, she started with a character, and it sounds like characters are the kind of like the gateway into creating the story. In terms of people feel emotionally invested in characters, like the X story, I was so sad for the guy at the end.
A lot of people told me, but that was my idea, because again, even when I created little sketches with these characters, I knew from the beginning this guy is like this.
Yeah.
I always knew, so I just want to develop a story. So it's fit to my idea, but it's not like, I'm changed my mind during the way. It could happen. You could change your mind and develop character in a different way. But that from the genesis, it was like this. So don't blame me for this stuff. It was just boom, the idea, and many years later,
come to. And the setting, because obviously it's very set in the future. Was that also part of the kind of, okay, this is the character, I want him to be in the future? Was that also part of, your idea in terms of where you wanted him to be?
I think it was a mix of fantasy and cyberpunk, something like this. It was always, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, for example. That's my biggest Final Fantasy between all Final Fantasies. So
it's a great game.
I developed this idea. I mean, I rip off this idea. The fantasy could be with a with swords and cybernetic world. That's fantasy I like. That's my kind of fantasy. When I feel, this is fantasy, because elves and wizards and orcs, a lot of people love this, but that's not my fantasy. My fantasy is like this mix of steampunk, cyberpunk, and fantasy, like Conan, for example. Grounded, gritty, bloody, that stuff, not just fairy flying around with fairy dust. It's cool. I love this stuff, but it's not mine. I mean, I enjoy it. you know how it is, okay?
Yeah. I do. I definitely do.
To be apologetic.
No. Don't. There's no need to be
I thought we like live in this futuristic world, and then we go on an adventure to find and dig like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, something like that. And this is how it works. This world, this mix of high technology and low technology. I don't think we have low technology in my it's because again, I developed background story as well, right? I know exactly why this town like this, why this guy fell in the map like this. I know this, so in my backstory there is no low tech past. It was always kind of high tech if
no and I fully agree in terms of I like Ghost in the Shell. It's one of my favorite animes. That's lovely, absolutely brilliant,
absolutely
so
brilliant.
All that cyberpunk stuff, absolutely love that stuff, and that's probably why I loved your X story. And I guess in terms of moving from X story to Blindspot, which was obviously featured on Love, Death and Robots, which is amazing, applause. How did that come to be? Did Netflix approach you, or how did that all kind of? Did you create it and then you submitted it to the series? How did that all start?
Well, it was like a coincidence because again, the community, the people who know your work and follow could be very big guys from some big studios, right?
Yes.
So just I posted X story in November 2016, and I think next day the guy, we developing some show, and what do you think about creating short for this package anthology? It was UGA for the long time, untitled, how it's translate, unnamed, okay.
Untitled's fine.
Untitled anthology.
Yeah.
So, they asked me to create some ideas for. I created 5 ideas, like log lines, right? Short. So for Blindspot, it was like crippled robots robbing truck of big corporation on the road, something funny and something like that. So it's got their attention, and they decided, okay, let's talk about this. And the next time I was meeting Tim Miller and pitching him this idea. It was just crazy, absolutely crazy. Because in those days we were using Skype. Now we use Zoom, Telegram, and I don't know, Instagram, Facebook. But Skype was the main thing. And when you sit in and request Tim Miller want to join you as a friend, that was crazy. And she was just huge because it was. This year was first Deadpool release.
Yeah.
I just wow, and I make a screenshot of it, friend you in Skype. That's cool. So it was crazy. But again, most important thing, you have to be, you have to post something. People see what you do. And again, the guy who noticed me, it's Gabriel Pinacchioli. He got Emmy for first season of Love, Death and Robots, and he has big career in animation. For many years, he was working in DreamWorks.
Yep.
He was working on Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, Sinbad, 2D. Remember Sinbad 2D movie? So he was huge. And again, in 2000s, the blogs was most important sphere for artists. So I was starting with my little picture blog. Those huge artists from Disney, from DreamWorks, from all around the world, they share their work from these big projects from 90s, from 80s, and I was wow, and these real people, because before it was just produced somewhere by the gods. Now you see these real people, and they sharing, they commenting below the pictures to each other, And I thought, wow, if someday some of these guys will comment me day by day, week by week, and a couple years later, these guys start to write comments below my work, and it was just overwhelming feeling and crazy inspiration. This guy, Gabriel Pinacchioli, was liked my work very much 3 years. And after I produced a story, and he just was in the process to find the teams for every shot. So just
I mean, you say lucky, but I don't think it's lucky, because like you mentioned, you had the idea many years ago. You could have just sat on that, not did anything, and you would not be part of Love, Death and Robots. So like you mentioned, it's important to finish.
It's just a huge component. But again, without a story, nobody would ask me to do anything. But again, the time, this collision of times when they they're looking for teams, and I just finished and released my film on YouTube and Vimeo, and they noticed and they liked. He showed it to Tim Miller, and Tim Miller loved it, and during our conversation he said, "Hey, I watched the story a couple times." I was seated. My heart was. That was crazy.
For listeners who don't know, Tim Miller, like mentioned, was he's the film director, famous American film director, legend. He did Deadpool, he did Terminator, he did Sonic the Hedgehog, and of course, he worked with Vitaliy on Blindspot. So an amazing. I'm sure that was very.
He was founder and owner, CEO, Studio Blur.
Ah, yes.
Studio Blur created countless cutscenes for big projects. I mean, so and always for years, I remember, even from I was talking with him a lot during our Zoom calls and asked him. It was always, I was very nerdy about, because finally you're talking to the legend, and I was asking everything about his life, how Blur popped up, how he started, what was the idea. So again, he told me that maybe in the 80s it was a heavy metal anthology, animation anthology. Are you familiar with metal? No? Okay, in the 70s it was a huge, really popular around the world comic magazine. Comic book magazine, yes. So it was heavy metal. And different artists, for example, like Möbius, Möbius artist? No,
sorry.
Okay, so you're more in animation, not So, okay. It was huge comic book magazine, and in '83 they took from this line of magazines most popular stories, and they created this animation anthology. Heavy metal. So Tim Miller told me, when he was working with David Fincher on Girl with the Black Dragon Tattoo, right?
Girl with the dragon tattoo.
Studio Blur created the opening, very dark with a stylish opening for this movie. So he worked with David Fincher, and they realized they're very similar attitude to industry, to movies, to likeness, and Tim Miller shared his dream with David Fincher that he want to create animated anthology like heavy metal, and David Fincher loved heavy metal too when he was young. They talk about this, and after Deadpool was a huge hit, David Fincher told Tim Miller, "Hey, I think now it's time to go to Netflix and let's talk with them about your dream." And they immediately agree, because David Fincher, Tim Miller. So that was the original path to creating Love, Death and Robots.
Oh, wow.
He shared his story with me, and now I'm sharing with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I just love how these things start, because sometimes we think it's this grandiose, like everyone is in a room trying to brainstorm ideas or something. But sometimes it's just like, hey, we want to do this. It's like Dr. Dre, when he started Beats, it was just him. Oh, is the other guy's name? But they were just sitting in their room or sitting like in an apartment, and were just like, I want to make headphones. And you know, it just, and the same with Nvidia. They were in, I think they were in a cafe or like a little restaurant. So yeah, it's just crazy how ideas, it's just something that sparked, and you just say, hey, let me just try and do it and see what happens. So thank you very much for sharing that story. So you meet Tim Miller, you have the Skype call with him. You, at that time, was Blindspot already finished, or were you just like, this is the idea I have, and then did he help you?
First meeting, it was just idea.
Okay.
Just some sketches of the characters. It was a pitching idea.
Okay. And then did he work with you to like, or did he say he loves it, then he gave you a team? What was the next step?
No, I work with my team who helped me to create. But again, now it's founded. Now Netflix have some money.
just a little.
We could hire team for, again, it was a 3D project.
Yeah.
In X story, we were using 3D a little. We create his motorbike, and the robot was 3D, but everything else was 2D. So now, and 3D is much more expensive. You know that, and now we hire a team, hire a lot of modelers, 3D modelers, 3D animators. And the guys who helped me to create X Story was now leads in their fields for compositing, for 3D animation, for modeling. And that's how it started. But again, first meeting was just a pitch. I have a log line. I have some first draft of the plot of story, and and then when after meeting we all laugh, everyone was cool. But again, I didn't know if we're gonna start this or no. And then I received the email, Tim Miller love your story, and he wants to create it.
Wow.
And the kind of year and a half of development, it was like this. Because again, it's like a movie quality.
It was,
like short, which is look like, I don't know, student work. It was a huge, and a lot of money, and again, my first draft was first draft, and first draft was never like finished stuff. So we developing, redeveloping lots of Zoom calls, and we create something like this. And again, I was aiming much more for some funny and silly stuff, because like in heavy metal, you should look this anthology.
Okay.
It have a sex, it have a violence, it's a fantasy and horror element, and sci-fi elements, everything mixed, and nothing really very deep. Like for example, in Love, Death and Robots, lots of stories with deep philosophical background. I prefer to do stuff like this, but I didn't know. But they told me we creating the heavy metal stuff, and I thought, let's rock, let's be funny, and like MTV music video. But so many philosophical stories, and I thought, okay, so my story is more fun. Created, like little fun blockbuster.
And I mean, your one also had words in it. X Story didn't have words, so there was obviously that component of it as well.
I worked with actors. All this stuff was new for me, so it was a very good learning experience. And again, this is Hollywood, and you'll be there. I'm geeking out with every person. It was great.
We have some questions from our Discord. So
cool.
The one person mentioned, was there an idea in Blindspot that you wanted or he wanted to push, but it got cut by Netflix? Was there any idea, or did they just let you do what you want?
No, I think all the Love, Death and Robots was created again. Netflix was just waiting when the show was going to be ready.
Okay, fine.
Yes, so Blur. We work with a Blur and Tim Miller.
Okay, you worked. Okay, fine.
And Gabriel Pinacchioli was like a main director for all this project, and Tim Miller like big boss, and David Fincher also big boss producers. Yeah. So yeah, we work with Gabriel and team. Every week we have a meeting, and yeah, everybody think like Netflix. Netflix have some suggestions.
Yeah.
Once in a half year. Yeah, something like that. But mostly we work with these people because it was team projects, team dream.
Okay.
Team's dream, and yeah, Netflix is not huge part in developing this stuff. Unless you create something so not good for Netflix, they
will come. Yeah.
Yeah, they call and let's change it a little bit. Let's tweak this. Yeah.
So did Gabriella did he or the team internally, did they have any pushback in terms of we don't like this or we need to change it, or were you okay to run all your ideas?
We have some changes. They never talk we don't like. They think nice. We're not really there. Let's think about this. Let's add this. Let's change this. So working with professional, you now have this is crap. This is let's for all this. No, people are very, very professional.
Yeah.
So sometimes you feel like they didn't like, but no one will tell you this is beep show. Yes. But yeah, we change a little bit. For example, character Kali, the woman character, was not in my story. And they suggested to add this character, and I'm so happy they suggested because now I love this character very much. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm guessing it was, so say because you mentioned it, you started with just a drawing, started just a little, if I'm say an aspiring artist or director or just artist who wants to create, like you mentioned, a short film, is it a case, to your point, not maybe it's different times, but really you need to showcase your kind of your dream and the work you put in, like you did with Xspot. Sorry, I keep saying Xspot with X Story. Is it a case where I or whoever it is will come, they'll do what they have to do, say a short film, and then hopefully someone sees it before they can potentially get on a bigger, larger platform? I know there's some element of luck, but I guess you have to have a body of work, right?
You've done.
Some
skills, some body of work, of course.
Yeah.
But again, that was my way. I'm kind of guy who create my own stuff. I'm not used to work with other people materials.
Yeah.
But that's me. A lot of people just more in one field, concentrate on a field. Animator, some people writing, some drawing, some character design only. I draw everything, backgrounds and creating characters and creating stories, writing stories. That's me, and that it's not for everyone. And a lot of people just find their way in the industry by doing these things particularly, right?
Yeah.
Just drawing characters, just drawing, I don't know, robots or stuff for background. How it's called, props, robots, anything. What drives you, right? What you like to do. That's your main thing. I'm suffering sometimes because I do everything.
I can imagine.
I think if I just concentrated on one thing, I could be super professional. But that's just me, you know. I just generalize in everything. But my story is not very common, I think. But if you want to be the director, you should think about your stories, everything. Yeah, directors think of everything. And because I'm an artist who like generalist, that helped me to be a director in films.
Yeah, because I guess director has to see the overall picture and understand. Okay. Is Did you write the script as well for the people? Because obviously there's dialogue in this as well. Did you write the script as well?
Yeah, I write it, but because I'm not, you can see it. My English is not so top notch, and
no, it's good.
They realize, okay, this is good. We have the idea, it's working, but now we hire a scriptwriter who create cool American lines, because my was a little bit like a Russian guy tried to speak American.
No. Like you said, the bare bones is there. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I think it's a great testament to collaboration. Like you mentioned, you like to do everything yourself, but we all need people, right?
Yeah.
We all need someone to help us. Obviously, you can have the overall and overarching vision, but from the sound to even just some of the animation to the dialogue to the writing, we all need people have different skills, which they're really good at. I'm like you, I'm a generalist, and sometimes it's hard to let go, but you can't do everything. So it's best to give people the chance also to, have a go, given their specialisms as well. So no, that's very, very true. What was your favorite part about creating both X Story and Blindspot?
I think the beginning, the development of the storyboard, because production is more tedious.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, like you just more like a robot. but all this creating messy stuff, it's much more fun. It's always more fun when you're creating, you sharing ideas, you sharing sketches, you throw in these, you put it back and forward, right? So it always because for example, X Story, half of the year, 6 months, I was alone in my room every day. I was sitting, drawing and creating this story, this animatic, and I remember now it's most happiest time in my life, because I just have a big dream, right? And from little sketches. Again, I create the storyboard, scrappy storyboard, like very, very bad drawings in one sit. I mean, maybe hour, maybe 2 hours. It was a whole film. It was crappy, but it was there, right? And then you edit, you developing, you creating, you drawing and redrawing, and it's become more marketable, I guess, more appealing for big audience, not just for artists. And then every day, shot after shot, it was, I work on the lineary, forget how to say it.
No.
So lineary.
Yeah, linear.
From first picture, second, ding, not just create ending. Now let's.
So you're going from beginning to end in step by step.
So every day I have a shot. If shot simple, for example, something without big action, I create a couple shots a day. But again, I draw backgrounds. I create designs, and again working on ideas, unite something, combine, and so that was an amazing time. I just live my dream, right?
You mentioned production, and it's very tedious. And how did you? Because obviously your own project, you can take your time, like you mentioned. But you worked at, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, you worked at Konami, you worked at Disney, and they obviously have some, commercial production demands. So how do you balance the artistic freedom of creativity and then the demands of commercial?
Konami and Disney, it was I was a little guy on the back of the trains. I can say it was not like they hire me like a very important person, like Love, Death and Robots felt like for me. But then I was the penciler, then the color guy, and in 2006 I work in a company, and they like freelance company developing games. So Konami was freelancing our company to create some games for them. So it just cool to add in your resume.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Konami, but it's not like really I work with
it's
Kojima. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. It just the game was developed. No, not developed. Released. Developed by us.
Yeah.
But published by company.
Yeah.
But Konami.
Konami. Yeah.
Konami. So again, I was a little guy, and just cool for resume, but felt differently. Of course, I was happy.
Yeah,
because
of course.
You working on Tron and Prince of Persia, and this movie is not released, and they sending you materials from the shooting tape with actors in costumes. Nobody sees except you, or so you kind of feel you was this guy. They sending you pictures, Jalen Cole doing some stunts, and nobody saw this. So you feel like you're in Hollywood, right? So that was cool. That was the coolest part.
Yeah.
But other than that, you just get a new apartment in Russia alone, drawing, coloring, and sending files. Nothing.
But you like him. So it was freelance.
It
Okay.
was like freelance.
Yeah. But it's still, like you mentioned, good for your resume, good that they noticed your skills, and good experience. No experience is bad experience in my eyes.
Of course. Sure. I learned a lot. For my comic my comic skills, my storyboard skills, everything was developed during this project. Yeah.
We have another question from our Discord from Agent Smith. He asked, is there a particular piece of animation that deeply affected you? And if so, where can we find it?
Yeah, deeply affected me. You mean emotionally or
emotionally, sorry.
Emotionally.
Could be anything else, but emotionally.
Well, a lot of scenes in anime when you climb in One Piece and Naruto. I'm a big Naruto fan.
For sure.
So emotionally, I can't pinpoint right now.
Well, it doesn't have to be emotionally. Anything that just,
Okay, but again, animation from Naruto was just like a turning point for me, because when I saw Norio Matsumoto work in Naruto episode 30, that was just mind-blowing. And I realized because again, I studied his animation for many, many years. And when I first saw it and start to copying it and realizing this guy is just out of this world, that's my biggest influence. I mean, so Norio Matsumoto animation is just changed my life. Yes, that's crazy. That's my impact.
Like I mentioned to you beginning, I'm just a fan. Like, I'm not an artist. So it's only through this podcast I've learned about the different techniques, and I hear from the different artists just how great some of these artists are, because we all see a drawing, but we don't know what effort it takes to, get to that level.
Yeah.
I know like Berserk or what's that one again? Vampire Hunter, these mangas, like incredibly drawn. Yeah. So it's great to see that you obviously given what's his name, his flowers, because sometimes we just watch it and we think, oh, it's great, but we don't understand just how technically difficult it is. So no, it's good to hear, and it's great that for me to learn and for our listeners to learn as also. Who would you say is, like you said, Naruto as well? What other anime are you currently watching or do you like?
Well, currently I'm watching this new show, Dan Da Dan.
Oh yeah.
You saw seventh episode.
I haven't seen that yet, so no spoilers, please. I haven't seen it yet.
But again, for me, this to the previous question.
Yeah,
that's affected me so much, because I realized anime before this episode and after the episode. That is how I felt. Because the direction, the artistry, the emotional impact was just huge.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So incredible. Yeah, that's the word I was looking. Dan Da Dan. Again, I watch a lot of anime from 90s because
yes,
90s aesthetic from this period of time, hand-drawn, drawings. Just I'm huge fan of these visuals because after anime moved to computer production, more computer CG backgrounds, CG coloring. It's good. It's everything's great. Nothing against it. But this aesthetic from 90s, just I love it so much. It felt more atmospheric, more like more artistry. I see more artistry in this.
Yeah, for sure. You look at the Ghibli films, especially in the 90s. Very, very good.
Ghibli films, Ghost in the Shell, Akira.
Yeah, Akira also.
All this stuff from 90s. Evangelion.
Oh yeah. You're an anime head. I love it. What was your first anime you watched?
First anime I watched, again, it was early 90s on videotapes. Everything in Russia was pirated back then. you see 3 hours videotape.
Yeah.
And you have some huge film, 2 hours, and then they record in some anime, something, and you see, wow, it looks so weird, so different from Disney and Russian animation. Soviet animation, you think, wow, unusual, because blood, sex, again, you didn't expect this from animation. I don't remember exactly what was the name of the anime, although I was find it later.
That's fine.
When the internet was available. But the names.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. No, that's fine. But yeah, I agree. Like, anime has come a long way. I used to love, obviously, Pokemon, Digimon, Tenchi, Fist of the North Star. What was the other? My first one I ever watched was not Samurai X, the other one, Ninja Scroll. I don't know if you saw that.
Ninja Scroll. Oh yeah, Ninja Scroll is huge. It's around the world. Even Big Bang Theory, they always referring to this.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge. And Wachowski brothers, when they created Animatrix, they hired this director. I know all these names, but now it's just
yeah. I saw
the conversation to remember. I know my heroes like Nori Matsumoto, Satoshi Kon.
Yeah.
Like I know, but this director, I remember him often, but Kawajiri, second name, but at first, okay. Yeah.
Let me type it. Ninja Scroll director, right?
Ninja Scroll director, Kawajiri.
Oh. Yes, Kawajiri. Yushiki Kawajiri. Yeah.
Kawajiri, yes.
Yeah.
He's amazing. In Animatrix, he's shot in Animatrix, cool too. Very polished, very beautiful in terms of in his story. Everything is great. I love Animatrix. That's also was very huge. Maybe I should say that after Animatrix, I realized that I'm more now in looking in anime side in terms of to learn, to watch more anime. I became anime guy after Animatrix. So Matrix and Animatrix, it just changed the world. And I'm a part of this world was changed, which was changed. Yes. So Matrix is huge for pop culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Animatrix, but my favorite from like Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
It's just untouchable. It just the god level, and nobody could reach it because it's so
Cowboy Bebop is
amazing, good. great anime, but Cowboy Bebop just. No, it's just got
it.
It just
nowadays it's good. Everyone has their like I said, mine is my top 3 anime ever. One Piece, just because amazing, incredible story. I don't think any anime can touch the
characters,
story of One Piece.
Humor,
everything. Ghost in the Shell, just because the thinking to do something like that in the 90s and the technology, the artistry, like I felt like I was watching the future. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
If I was an artist, the creator of Ghost in the Shell is who I would admire, because the animation.
Yes.
Yeah.
My dream to meet him in person someday.
You never know, it could happen. Why not?
Matsumoto, yes, because when we lost Satoshi Kon in 2010, I was crying. He just impossible guy, and yeah, so Mamoru Oshii is just treasure for humanity.
For sure, for sure.
And also Katsuhiro Otomo, creator of Akira.
Yes, of course.
They
all of them are legends.
Legends.
Absolutely.
Legends of the legends. Mm-hmm.
And then my last one, just because I love sports and martial arts, is Hajime no Ippo, boxing anime. So good.
Boxing anime?
Yeah, it's really good.
Hajime,
yeah.
I watched this anime, I remember 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was very funny.
Yeah, it's very funny, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm too big fan of martial arts.
Yes, I saw on your Instagram. I love your Bruce Lee, Kareem
Bruce Lee. Just all my life. I mean, not all my life. I was 10 when I heard about him the first time. So, but most of my life, he just guiding stars with his advice, his philosophy, his movies. He's just out of this earth charisma. This guy is just my guiding star.
Yeah, I saw the Jackie Chan one he did as well.
Jackie Chan. It was crazy. In the 90s, I was collecting collection of movies. Jackie Chan, and it was very hard back then. I was living in Siberia, and you go from one store to another, and minus 40 Celsius, in Siberia, and you just all frosty. You have some new stuff for all shops with videotapes or new me. And then sometimes you open the door and no, nothing new for you.
You walk all that way and it's cold.
Again, I collected almost everything what was released with Jackie Chan in the end of the 90s. So yeah, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I loved like Police Story 1, 2, and 3. Drunken Master 1 and 2, Young Master. What was the other one with Snake and the Eagle's Shadow? Yeah, he was too good. I literally loved
God.
Yeah, yes, Armor. Yep. What was the one with he goes to America and
Rumble in the Bronx?
Yes, Rumble in the Bronx. Yes, good one. Yeah. I love that one as well. I love that one.
This movie is important for me because I was a teenager who was not in a sport at all. I thought I was nerd, just playing games, watching animation, drawing, and that's my life. Sport, not for me. And again, I was a teenager. I was a teeny little guy, and at some point you're looking at a girl and you want to look better than what you see in a mirror. And again, it's collide when I realize I need to look better. Jackie Chan in the beginning of the Rumble Bronx, he just working out in the morning. Yes, then he lying on the ground, then rolled back and
put the handstand,
and go opening the door, and I was
insane.
And I beneath the wall. I stay on my legs, my arms on the ground, and I was trying to make one push up from the ground. It was impossible. But after half of the year, I was already doing 40 times.
Oh wow! See, Jackie like Chan, you said, bit by bit.
Jackie Chan was crazy inspiration. Not just his artistry. But again, he was huge inspiration for me. He taught me how to start with something and to finish. Because my goal was to do 10 times. Later I done a lot more. So Jackie Chan, my guiding star as well. Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. I couldn't imagine my life without art, without works of these guys.
They've impacted so many people in the world.
So many people. Impact is huge.
Even in Naruto, Rock Lee is based on Bruce Lee. Right?
Naruto. Actually, I started to watch Naruto because of Rock Lee. Because Bruce, you see, I saw some picture this guy was in a green outfit
Yeah.
suit,
Yeah.
doing something. Hey, that's clearly like Bruce Lee parody or something.
Yeah.
And let's again, and I didn't know that this is Naruto. And Naruto, I started watching because of the Naruto. Like, okay, all of my anime passion, what I want to watch something, it all starts with the image. So I see something what I like, I see something in design, and I think that's unique, that's interesting, that's I want to learn something from it.
Yeah.
So I saw on the back of DVD case.
Yeah.
Some guy with the orange hair, and his hair was like,
Oh yeah.
triangles. And I thought, wow, this is so bold. just triangles. I could create it 1 second, and but this and so original for me was. And I bought this disc, and I saw it. It was the first movie of Naruto, not even the series. And Naruto movies not as good as the manga. The series on a manga, but again, the animation, the production, everything was so top notch and so out of my reach in terms of my skills. So I decided, okay, let's see what series could offer me in terms of, and now boom, the story just. And Naruto fan for years till this day.
Yeah,
like,
no, honestly,
I can't imagine my life without Bruce Lee, without Jackie Chan, without Naruto, without One Piece and Cowboy Bebop and Animatrix.
You mentioned One Piece. I'm guessing, do you read the manga or you watch the animation as well?
No, I watch anime. Yeah. Again, when you first start with something, like it's called imprinting.
Yeah.
When chicken is born, first thing he touch and feel, he think it's mother, right? So again, I first watch a couple episodes of One Piece, and Seiyu just out of this world again.
Yeah.
So crazy. I love Seiyu for One Piece, just best of the best. Just best of the best. And I realized, okay, manga is cool, but I want to continue to watch anime.
The anime. Yeah.
And I love fillers. I love everything in One Piece.
You're the only one who loves the fillers.
No, some fillers are very cool. And again, sometimes they really greatly animated. Sometimes you just wonder, fillers and animation so good, and then boom, original story from manga, it's not so good. So I don't know how it's working. This is the big, because so I love them. I understand they kind of turn out from the big story, from the main story, but I love it. I just love characters. They silly stuff. They fight some made up, not from the manga bosses again.
Yeah.
Just give me great time with these characters, because characters in One Piece, just great.
Insane, right?
Yeah.
Oda is a genius. I don't know.
We could spend 10 podcasts and discussing how we love these characters, right?
Yeah. Oda is just incredible. I put my hat off to him, and I'm wishing him all the best of health. But what do you think? Because we hear a lot of stories about the future of anime. Animation, AI. What do you think the biggest challenges are facing the animation industry at the moment?
Well, it's changing again. It's changing like it was with the 3D. After when the golden age, 90s golden age of animation, that boom, 3D, I want to say Toy Story changed everything, right? And Shrek and Toy Story, biggest influence. But again, it was inevitable when it's started. We're going to, I don't know how to say, accommodate to the AI. It's going to be like instrument, new instrument. It changed industry, I think, maybe even tremendously change our lives, artists and directors' lives, but it's inevitable. It's going to be in our lives to create new projects. I don't know how. Now I think about like to create ideas, to get more fast and good ideas, and you get image or even some kind of movements, and you take it as a reference and you work it. that's just the beginning. I think later it would create quality, like a good animation. You just need to navigate it.
Yeah.
The industry would going to change
Dramatically.
tremendously.
I sorry, go on.
No,
I see it two ways, like you mentioned. I think AI is a tool that we can utilize for added benefit. But I also see and I understand, because I've spoken to a few artists, it does feel like you've worked all your life, you draw every day, you're trying to hone your skill, and then someone can just type "draw me Goku in a car," and it's there.
Yes.
So it does feel a bit kind of like, what was all these? I wouldn't say that for people who are artists and mastering their craft, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time. Of course, art will. I think they said that of the internet, they said that of all these different technologies, but we always go back to the source most of the time. So there'll always be. I personally, I'm a big fan of 2D artistry. Obviously, 3D is, like you mentioned, is where the industry is going. But I really love 2D. That's why I love anime, and I hope it keeps that form. But we have to also move the time. So it's a bit of a catch-22. Like, some people like it, some people don't. So it will be interesting to see what it's like in the future.
It depends on the person, what kind of man you are, what kind of woman you are. For me, for example, I would draw to the end of my life, no matter what. So that's me. And some people thinking about careers, right? If people most focused on careers, and if I just gonna learn how to draw and spend all my time to this because I want to get some money, I think maybe it's not very wise. But if you could not live without it, like myself, for example, it's just part of you, it's your life, it's everything about you, just you creating with your own hands, with your own minds, and others, all these things are just helping you like an instrument. So people going to be drawing, people going to be using only AI. It just, it depends on the person. But so I could not give advice, no, learn. If you're a person who just want to get career with a big money, I don't think it's very wise to just spend all the time to draw it. But if you could not live without it, again, I agree with myself, then you just draw every day, that's all.
No, and I think it's a good advice in terms of what's your passion, right? You said, like you mentioned, drawing is part of you. Whether someone's paying you $1 million or nothing, you're still gonna draw.
You will find your way how to earn money, maybe a little differently, but you will draw anyway.
No, that's good. So if someone who's listening, we have a lot of listeners around the world who listen to us, they're an aspiring animator or an aspiring illustrator, what advice would you give them to work on projects like Love, Death and Robots? No, sorry, Love, Death and Robots. Well, like Love, Death and Robots, or more specifically, being chosen to work on a specific project in that Love, Death and Robots. So it could be, like you mentioned, it could be Blue Story, or it could be sorry, I keep mixing the two. It could be Blue Spot, or it could be a story. What advice would you give someone to say this is what you need to learn in order to be maybe chosen to work on a project like this?
Well, work on your craft, every day. Just even if you have now not power or you're tired, I don't know. I have a friend who could not draw every day. He want, but he could not because different reasons, right? How he feel himself, how he mentally feel, how he's working. I saying you could create even little sketch. You could find 5 minutes. So work every day on your craft. Just develop your craft, have a vision, have a goal. You want to be as good as like this. For example, in your field, direction, writing, music, anything. So develop skills in your craft and make sure that your works are visible. Some people show it to the people, get feedback. So all my project is because somebody noticed, not because I was drawing and not showing anybody. That's the way. And again, a big part why I talk about luck, because again, luck is always big part. But without body of work,
exactly.
As you mentioned, what luck you're talking about? Because I could not imagine if somebody would hire me for Love, Death and Robots and I have not developed skills. I you just want to suicide. So how are you gonna create something if you have no skills? It's cool that you're talking with Tim Miller and working on a big project, but you could not do what you I don't know. You could not be a fraud in this field. I mean, creating something, right? The fraud's always in a field when you could talk something like, but if you need to
just have the gift, right now, for sure,
so
okay. No, that's good advice. I think you mentioned, was there pressure? Because you mentioned, like, obviously Tim Miller and Gabriella and Gabrielle, sorry.
Of course. I was dead inside for a long time. Months after months, you kind of used to it. You have more fun interaction with them on Zoom. You have a joke and you all this stuff. But in the beginning, I was sweat, like I was wet after every of course. Come on, I'm just. Yesterday I was sitting alone in my apartment, and now I'm working with Hollywood. That's part of the. You need this fear. It's help you to think. It's those the limitation, the fear, the everything, because again, the limitation is the mother of invention.
Yes.
So if you feel something, you kind of restrain. Right? You thinking more like engineer, you create, you think, with this little, you have little. So how I create something cool with having this little, the freedom, the time, the pressure, the money, everything. So it's very helpful. I find it too. It's very helpful because if you have all the money in the world, you could create nothing. You just, why bother? So value your limitations. And most important, I repeat again, create something small. It's great, but do it. Because when you do, you have even a scratch, you have something.
I was going to ask, when you've pressed, or when it was finally finished with Blindspot, and then it was published out onto Netflix, what was your feeling? I'm sure you're feeling of proud, but I'm sure you also had some nerves in terms of what the reception would be like. So how did you feel once it was finally published?
I don't know, I'm lucky one or not in these terms. Most important thing for me is to finish it. When I finished and give it away to Netflix, to every people, all burden from my shoulders go away. I didn't really care about what's going to be. Because
you've done the work.
You did what you could. Everything else is not depends on you. How people receive. It's true. Cool. It was cool. It was rewarding. It was a lot of praise and many great stuff. But most important thing was to finish it and to give it away. Because how Netflix is receiving projects from you, you just buy a hard drive and put it on a hard drive and big, crazy big, maybe terabyte resolution. Send it to them, to America, and after we send this disc with these hard drives, I realized now we're waiting, now we're spending our time, now we're resting, now it's time to watch what was new in anime.
I can imagine. It's a lot.
I was happy.
And I'm guessing you were working globally, so you had Zoom meetings every week and different people from different time zones, which again adds a bit of complexity because your time in Russia versus someone in America versus someone, it's just a lot of different time zones. So it's a lot of complexity to it. So again, thank you.
But people in this industry in Hollywood, they used to this. They work in this whole world: the India, the China, the Japan. Korea, Thailand, Russia, Europe, Africa. So they know how to manage time. And again, they have a lot of people who their work is to manage, right? The managers. They find in the times, they schedule in you and directors and producers. So it's not a big deal. If you already signed on this project, it's not a problem.
It's no problem.
They find good time for you and for people. And
I like what you said about once it's done, you're free, and it's up to the audience the way they want to receive it.
It's really you can do anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
because
people hate you, people love you. It's not. It's you done your job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not for you. I remember in John Lasseter said when on a premiere of the Toy Story, he saw the little kid with a toy of the Woody.
Yeah, Woody. Yeah.
And in this exact moment, he realized, no, it's not mine. It's for the world,
the audience. Yeah.
And I always remember in that. Yes, it's not you. You're not a master. You're not owner anymore. It's just people's. And again, centuries after this, hopefully, Earth is still
around. Yeah,
still around. Yes, it's still alive. People still watching Netflix.
Yeah.
Nobody know who's done that, and they're watching it. That's cool.
Does that make you feel sad or happy, or you're just happy that it's out there, regardless of whether they knew you did it or not?
Yeah, I'm just happy it's out there. That's all. Because again, such an opportunity to create globally. Again, we didn't know if it's show going to be successful. Surprised that this show's successful. And for example, most important, the first season was so greatly received.
Yeah.
So it was just like a bonus. Because the previous bonus was to work with these people, to create this stuff, to learn from this. Because Tim Miller always, I on a Deadpool, for example, we developed something like this, and he's sharing his ideas, he's sharing his experience, and come on, it's worth. It's priceless.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was my greatest gift working on the show. And the public reception, and it was just good bonus. But working on the project was, because only now it's most important thing. Only now.
No, you're right though. You're right. You look back and you see all the great stuff you've done. But when you put art out, you're absolutely right. It's up to the audience in the way they want to receive it, interpret it. It's no longer yours. So I like that mentality, because sometimes it's hard for artists to let go. You know, whether it be music, you get criticized, or whether it be, like you said, animation or film. So I think whilst it's difficult, I like that you said, you know what, it's done, it's in the world, however they want to receive it, I'm on to the next thing, which is good. I like that. Wait, is he trying to destroy the next video with Ichigo's Bankai? Is that a keyboard? Yes it is. It's still there though. Yes, but in his mind, it's gone.